So I just thought while I'm in the area, do a nice little bonus video about Jarrovians Rugby Club. It's my nearest rugby club to my house now. There's something actually going on here, I'm not sure what it is. But I do actually have quite fond memories of Jarrovians. I only played for them for one season. But years ago, interesting fact for me anyway, is back, actually I can't even tell you when, probably like 2000ish, my first ever rugby union match in a league was for Durham Constabulary. Joined them with a mate. There's nobody on the team, was a policeman I don't think, maybe one or two, but that's about it. But Durham Constabulary came to Jarrovians as a prop, and basically I remember a very sturdy ginger man basically had me all over for the entire match and just basically made me his bitch. It was a good life lesson, but fun. But yeah, I played for Washington after that, because Washington formed from Durham Constabulary because it was near to where everybody lived. Obviously we weren't the police, so there wasn't people turning up every week thinking I'm going to get to kick the shit out of the police. So it was like a bit more of an even keel. We were playing in a good league then as well. It was a fairly decent league for the level I was at anyway. We kind of, you know, every year we played Jarrovians, sorry, I should go Jarrow. But every time we played them, it was a good match. It was always interesting, kind of, you know, a lot of changes in all that time. But I know like a lot of good people played for this club. We kind of, you know, been quite friendly with them over the years. What should I say, with Washington, and played for them for what, I think about 14 years. All very good. But my last season I ever played was on a technicality, because Washington was struggling at the time. They're thriving now, but they were struggling at the time, and they couldn't get a team out. So I hooked up with my old coach Steve, who was coaching Jarrovians at the time, and had my last season of rugby playing with these. Made to feel very welcome, lovely set of lads. But an interesting fact is that I didn't score a lot of tries, but the club I scored the most tries against over my illustrious career would be Jarrovians. One of them, quite interestingly, was not long after I first met Kirsty, who was brought up around this area, which is how I've ended up kind of here. There's a massive crowd of people over there. Looks like it's the young'uns. There must be something going on. Maybe with some kind of initiation. Also, before I forget, Jarrovians men's team and the women's team both won the league this year, so congratulations to them. Well deserved. I know they put a lot of effort in, and got some good players there. Anyway, yes, I can't remember what it would be, but 13-14 years ago, playing for Washington against Jarrovians. Kirsty was saying she was going to come down with her mum and watch. Hadn't been going out with her for a very long, couple of months, and I was like, yes, this is my chance to impress. So game starts. Within 5 minutes I scored a try. It was one of my best ever tries as well. It was a lovely pass off a tally. Fought my way through, scored a lovely try. It was all very, very good. About 45 minutes later, got sin-binned for being a bit naughty, which was standard of me. I have terrible impulsive issues when it comes to these things. Once that was done, second half, probably about 20 minutes left, basically ran head first into my own teammate, because we both tried to tap the same guy. He ended up with a big cut on his head. I ended up with needing about 14 stitches on the inside of my lip. I think kind of might have got knocked out a little bit, but I can't really remember because I was probably knocked out. But I was taken very good care of. But I did go to the side and go, right, this is all good. I can get a bit of sympathy, you know. I mean, I wouldn't get any kisses because half my lip was hanging off, but I still get some sympathy. But at last I got over there because I couldn't see because of the crowd. She hadn't actually been able to make it. She was there working, unfortunately. However, I still had a good game, so it's fine. It's just one of those things. I'm not bitter about it at all. But I think the only regret I've got is when I was playing for Jarrovians, I would have liked to have played for a couple more years, because it is quite local to where I live, and they were a good set of lads. I just, body was just feeling it a bit. Young kids were around. I think kids were like 1 or 2 at that point, and it was just very much a case of I was doing some very long hours because I worked in care at the time, and obviously you work about 70 hours a week for about 50 pence a week, because that's just the way it works with care, sadly. Deserve much more than that, but once that had happened, we just had to crack on with it, really. But yeah, it was just a case of I couldn't work the amount of hours I was doing and play rugby and see the kids, and quite frankly the kids took priority. It was a little bit different when my eldest daughter was growing up, because me and her mum broke up when we were quite young. I generally got her certain days, so I didn't get to see her on Saturdays, so it was fine to play then. I did see her on some Saturdays, we kind of do some stuff, but generally speaking it was normally a Sunday when I'd see her, not a Saturday, because she'd do stuff with her mum on a Saturday. Not that that's relevant. But if I'm honest, it's probably for the best anyway. I wasn't enjoying rugby as much as I used to anyway, and it was just taking longer and longer to not hurt. I've got a lot of love for rugby. I learned a lot of lessons in rugby. I kind of met a lot of really good people I consider lifelong friends, but it just wasn't meant to be. A few years after that I got into running, still feeling all the knocks off rugby though, so, and I would admit as well, I was about 8 stone heavier then, which is why in some videos you might see like random bits of fat flapping around, or skin rather, but it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm trying to remember, I did score. Oh, there's another story about us scoring a try down there. It was one of my first tries I scored. Actually, yeah, when I was playing rugby league as well, I set somebody up really good for a try here too. But that's not important. So yeah, I scored a try in the corner. Then about half an hour later, I tackled one of the biggest lads on the pitch, the guy who was a cave fighter, Davey, and basically smashed my shoulder a little bit, and then kind of had to go whimpering off. So despite the fact that I did stop a guy who's about 12 foot taller than me and built like a brick shit house, it did come at a cost of not being able to move me arm for about 3 months, but I stopped him. That's what's important for me. He didn't get a score his try. You probably can't even remember it, but I remember it because when it gets cold my shoulder still hurts, because that's just what being old is like these days. Did score a few more tries, but none of them on that ground, so that's fine. As I say, try rugby if you're ever in the area. We've got a lovely bar there as well, and it's run by some really good people, and they took over the community centre as well, and they're doing a good job with that too. And yeah, that's it really. I hope you enjoyed my incredibly amazing bonus video about Jarrovians Rugby Club. I don't really know much about it than the time I played against them, or the short time I played with them, but it's not the point. It's all about my lived experiences. I'm sure they've all got their own stories to tell about when Phil used to play against them and he was shite and a bit of a shit house and used to always get sent off for doing stuff he shouldn't do. Anyway, toodles.